twirlers worldwide to another video in my series of Photoshop for twirlers. Now in this video I want to show you my workflow in producing a twirl. Now there are no right and wrong answers here. With twirling, that's the beauty of it. Every twirl is an individual work of art. No two are the same, as they come from different images and from different processing. Okay then, let's twirl on. Now my starting image here is a train from a local heritage railway. So let's start with this and see where we go. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to resize it. Now if you don't know how to resize, then go and watch the resize video. If you've got my actions pack, all we're going to do is just click resize. I'm going to resize it down to 1000 pixels. And this is so it runs faster. This is where I'm just experimenting and I just want it to run quickly to get me to an end product. But remember to write down the steps, because otherwise you'll get to the end and you'll not know how you've got there. Trust me. Right, I'll just make that a little bit smaller by pressing Ctrl and minus. Right, I think first thing I'll do, I'll flip it to the right. And again, if you're not clear on how to flip, then go and watch the flip video. On this one, I'm going to flip it to the right. So I'll go to Twirl Setup Portrait. And I'll click on that. And it's flipped it to the right for me. That's looking good. So I think now I'll flip it downwards. So I'm going to do Twirl Setup Landscape. And that's going to flip it downwards for me. So I've now got 4. And to be quite honest, I quite like that as it is. But anyway, we're twirling today, we're twirling. So again, I'll resize it just to keep the file size small. And I'll just bring it back up by Ctrl and plus, just to zoom it in a little bit. Okay, I think it's time for a twirl. So I'm going to have a look up and pick one that I think will work. We'll try the lighten. So I'm going to click on that to do a lighten twirl. Instead of 80, I'll go a little bit higher. I'll say we'll go to minus 120 degrees. Click OK. And then we'll go at plus 120 degrees. We'll see what that gets us. Oh, quite nice actually. I quite like that. I think what I'll do is I'll rotate it. So next step, I think I'll just go to image, an image rotation, and 90 degrees clockwise. So I've now rotated. And I'll resize again. I'll keep resizing so everything gets done so it's nice and small. Right, I think this time I'll go to the right again. So I'll just go and get my Twirl Setup Portrait. And I think we'll go 1. Ooh, let's go twice. Oh, shall we go for broke and go 3 times? We'll see where that gets us. So that's Ctrl and minus to bring us down in size. Wow. Okay, this is getting complex. Okay, but we're going with it. This is free twirling, so we're going with the flow. Okay, so we'll try now. We'll do it landscape again. So we'll try landscape. We'll do it another 1. Ooh, I think we can get away with another 1. Yeah, we'll do it another 1. Okay. Now, as you can see, the file size is getting quite horrendous. So if I was printing this, I'd probably stick with this. But as I'm not printing it, I'm just wanting to run it, then I'll keep reducing the file size. So I'll go to resize again to drop the file size right down. And I'll just zoom in on that. Looking quite complex now. Okay. Now, what will be the next step? Well, let's try a polar. We'll try an inner polar. So I'm going to go down and click on the inner polar action and off it goes. Oh, I like that. Okay, let's have a look. Just do it. Ctrl and minus. Oh, I do like that. Okay, resize again. get it nice and small, and we'll try going, let's try 4, and then we'll do underneath. Oh no, let's do another one underneath. See, that's taking a while because we're getting up to quite a big file size again now. So I'm going to resize again. Right. Well, that's quite an interesting effect, really, as it is. I quite like that. But what we'll try a twirl on it. So let's go again. We'll try a light and see if we like that. That's a good thing about free twirling. You never know where you're going to go. I'm going to click continue, and yeah, let's go for again minus 120. Oops, no, don't want that. And we'll try a plus 120. See where that gets us, and we'll let it twirl. Oh, I quite like that. Just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, some nice detail in there. I think I'll just sharpen it. So I've got a sharpen action, so I'm going to just click on that just to sharpen it up a little bit. If you see in the layers panel now, we've got a background copy, which is the sharpening. If I turn that on and off, you can see it just sharpens it up a little bit for print. But what I need to do now is just flatten that down. So I'm just going to go down to flatten image to turn it back into a background again. Right, I'm at a place now that I think I'm liking. So I think what I'm going to do is finish this off now. I'm going to stop here. But I'd like to give it a little bit of extra punch. So what I'm going to do is put some borders around it and a black background. So I'm going to control a minus just to zoom it out a little bit so we can see. And I'm going to add a new layer. So in the layers panel, I'm going to go down to the bottom of the layers panel and click to create a new layer. And I want this layer under the background, but it won't let me if that's still called background, because that's got to be the bottom layer. So I'm going to get rid of this padlock, and that will turn it into a normal layer. Just drag that and drop it in the bin. And now it will let me drag that layer underneath. Okay, I'm going to do a quick and dirty trick now, which is to extend the background, to extend the canvas. I'm just going to use the crop tool and just crop it out to the size I want. Something like that. And that. Put that a little bit nearer there and drag the bottom bit out. I want a little bit more at the bottom because I want to put a title. That looks about right. Then I'm going to double click to accept that. And that's now extended the canvas for me. It's just a very quick way of extending the canvas. I can see that's probably not exactly in the middle, so I'm just going to get the move tool and just drag it across. And you can see that center guide just told me that I was bang in the middle now. Okay, I now want to fill that background layer here with black. So I'm going to first click on it to make sure it's active. If you look over here, I've got black as the background color. Now there's a really good keyboard shortcut for filling from your background color, and that's to hold the control key down and press the backspace key, and that fills from background color. That's great. Now I'd really like a little white border, a little white stroke round just to finish this off. So I'm going to do that with an effect, and the effects are over here. If I just click in this layer to make it active, and then I go down to the FX button here, and it says add a new layer style, and I'll just click for blending options, and it basically brings up the whole shooting match. Here we are. It's a bit big, but I'll just get it on the screen so you can see both. And what I want here is a stroke. So I'm going to click on stroke. I'll pick a colour for the stroke, which I think I'd like to be white. Click OK. And then the size of the stroke, you can vary the size. I like it to be nice and thin, and I want the position to be inside, because that will mean that it will be a very sharp edge corner. It won't be a rounded corner. And that'll do me. I'm quite happy with that. I think that looks quite good. And now just finish it off with a title. So I'm going to click on my T for text layer, and then make sure that it's the little colour swatch here is set to white, and I'm going to come down and click once and then type in the title, and I think I'm going to call this the Green Room. Now that's a bit big, so I'll highlight that by clicking and dragging across it and drop that down to probably about 18. Drag it into position, try and centralize that, and press the enter key to accept it. Well, that's it, twirlers. My workflow for twirling. Now if you wanted to save this out as a PSD file, you could, and that will save the layers if you decided you wanted to go in and change something. Or you could save it out as a JPEG, which was flatten it all, and you could put that then on Facebook or on a website or wherever you need it to go. Well, if you want to learn more about Photoshop, please visit my website, kenfisherphotography.com, or my YouTube channel, Live Link Training. I hope that was useful. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.